A few weeks ago, I was out at a shopping center with my friends. Before we left, I asked them to come with me to the Lowe's. They didn't mind. I proceeded to spend the next half hour in the garden center staring at seed packets. Needless to say, they weren't very happy. But I had to stay in there and look at the seeds because I had to find the best seeds so that I could grow the nicest flowers, because that's my reason for gardening. I'd like to share the different reasons people have for gardening. I hope by presenting this speech, I can grant you a bit of insight into why some people enjoy and practice gardening. As someone that knows their reason for gardening and enjoys the practice, I'm confident in my ability to share this information with all of you. I will explain how people use gardening for practical purposes, how people garden for aesthetic appeal, and how people use gardening therapeutically. To begin, I'd like to explain how people garden practically. My neighbor grows her own vegetables. I will back this up with information from an interview I will conduct with her in the future. People also use flowers to freshen up their home. My neighbor grows her own flowers that she crushes up to make flowery little incense bags. Last month, I was at her house at a yard sale, and she showed me how she would pick lavender from her yard, pick it apart, and put the buds in small bags. She would put these bags in different spots at her house to make the house smell nice. Now that we discussed how people garden in order to use them practically, we will move on to how people garden for aesthetic appeal. Gardening fosters creativity. In Candace Ashton Schaefer's 2005 article, Why Do Older Adults Garden?, studies were conducted in an attempt to find out what factors motivated people to garden. The second most motivating factor they found was creativity. People had a desire to express their creativity through the plants that they grew. Their research showed that gardening was pursued mostly for aesthetic pleasure. The art of bonsai is a good example of this. Bonsai trees are miniature trees that people grow and fashion into a desired shape, like a sculpture made of branches and leaves. In Susan Clayton's 2015 entry of the Journal of Environmental Psychology, she states that people like to keep their garden looking nice to appeal to social norms. In the journal entry, a study claims that 68% of homeowners reported maintaining their yard in order to be a good neighbor. Also, having an aesthetically pleasing garden opens up the opportunity for others to compliment their neighbor's garden. With the aesthetic appeal of gardening out of the way, let's move on to the final main point, how people use gardening therapeutically. Gardening has many applications in the world of therapy. In Tanya Wiseman and Gaynor Sadlow's International Handbook of Occupational Therapy Intervention, written in 2015, it's made clear that the cultivation of plants has been known to be therapeutic for a long time. In 1881, Scottish asylums used garden therapy as a method of treatment for those with mental health needs. They also say that therapeutic benefits of gardening are so well established in today's society that there are charities that use it as a way to bring positive change to those in need. Gardening also has many applications in the world of therapy. In that same book, they describe gardening as a versatile, therapeutic medium with the ability to meet the needs of many in need of therapy. They list many therapeutic effects gardening may have, such as being able to calm and reduce stress, increase one's concentration on productive tasks, and to increase self-esteem and feelings of competence. Now that we've gone through some big reasons why people garden, allow me to wrap this up. I've explained how people use gardening practically, how people garden for aesthetic appeal, and how people use gardening as a form of therapy. As someone who dabbles in a good bit of gardening myself, if you have your own motivation, I encourage you to go out and garden yourself. Just try not to spend too much time browsing the Lowe's Garden Center looking for seeds.